Listen to what Steph had to say at the post-game presser about the tone he tried to set.
Just playing aggressive, playing the way I know how to play. I think I found a lot of space, obviously, in the first quarter, and just trying to ride that wave as long as I could. They're obviously a good defensive team, but we created enough good looks offensively, to win the game tonight. Just couldn't get enough stops, and that lead melted away in the fourth. So it's there's a lot of bright spots to how we play. Got to get over the tough feeling of letting one slip away.
Jay, I'm not saying he won't do it. I believe he will. I believe he'll do it. But I count, like, these things matter to me.
What are you saying there, Max?
I'm saying Steph did not come through in the fourth quarter, and as a result, like, when your superstar can't get it done, guess what? Sometimes you blow fourth-quarter leads at home.
So what did he do
in the finals?
So what did he do in the fourth quarter that makes you think he couldn't get it done?
His legs looked tired to me.
Well, the whole team looked a little bit tired.
Yeah.
Just because you have an extended period off, Jay, as you know, doesn't mean you're going to be fresh.
Look at the open field
People
goals.
think that automatically because you have time off, you're going to be, he's going to be fresh. Sometimes time off is a real problem for people.
Sure.
Open field goals rest of the game. I would force us and push us to define open. And here's why I will say two things very quickly. Number one, in the first quarter, it was a series of miscommunication by the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, Steph was
on
open.
A lot of rub screens. Marcus Smart, guys were caught.
Drop coverage.
Steph was wide open.
Al Horford, you're like, Al, why are you in drop coverage? Ime Udoka made those changes and those adjustments going into the second. That's why you didn't see him as prolific in the second. Number two, Key, you were talking about this, and I think it's something that a lot of people can feel. Have you ever had those days like where you're going 7-8 days and you're grinding, like your body is in that rhythm of going.
Absolutely.
And you don't realize how tired you are because you're too busy going, right? You're operating at an elite level. And then all of a sudden you take 4 days off and you're like, damn, it takes a minute to get your body back up the way. Because at the end of the first quarter, I saw multiple Golden State players with their hands on their knees.
I think that's real.
Getting that wind out, whereas Boston coming off.
You take a 20-minute nap, you feel great. Sometimes take a 40-minute nap, you're groggy, right?
Well, in sports, though, what happens is when you are off, you are not doing the same things that you would be doing if you were on. Mm-hmm. The Boston Celtics just played what?
I think it was game Sunday, right? They had 3 days off. They had game 7 on Sunday.
So they had 3.
They lucked up with the way it's scheduled. Boston really needed that little rest.
But they didn't really get a significant amount of rest. They still, their bodies.
not stale.
Their body is warm. Their blood is flowing.
I totally agree with that.
Where if you're Golden State, what you're doing is you're resting your legs. You're in meetings. You're in walkthroughs. You're doing shoot around. You're not going 5-on-5 up and down the court for 4 quarters.
Key, do you think, because like this morning I woke up and obviously we can talk about the nuances of basketball, but like I think for people that don't understand it as much, right? I think the simple question is, do you think Golden State gave it away or do you think Boston stole it?
I think they opened up the door for them to steal it. If that is correct.
That's usually how it works.
If that's a correct answer.
Yeah.
They opened the door, Boston saw the opportunity and took it. And that's when you are missing shots or you're a little fatigued, you're a little tired, and you still feel like, we're cool in the third quarter, we'll be okay. And then all of a sudden you look up, you up by 12, now you're down by 12, and you're like, blank.
Guys, I hear what you're saying. Wait a minute. I get these are explanations, right?
Is it coming back to Steph?
Of course, because it's his team. Jay Will is sitting here, one of the greatest college players who ever lived, is sitting here.
It's also Jason Tatum's team.
No question, and Tatum helped his team to win with his defense, which Steph is just not capable because he's not as big, right, in terms of the defense.
Jason Tatum's defense was okay, but it wasn't.
It was pretty good, Jay. It was pretty good.
Max?
Throughout the game, it was pretty good. Whatever he was asked to do, he did it pretty well.
I hear you, but I'm not walking away saying I'm highlighting Jason Tatum's defense as a main factor.
But no. I'm saying he's 6'8", so he's longer. He's capable of contributing on that end differently than Steph, who I credit. Steph plays defense. He's just littler guy.
But again, Max, you still hadn't answered my question about the fourth quarter. What is it that he did that was so egregious
he wasn't hitting
in the
shots.
fourth quarter.
It's not that it's egregious. Guys, wait, let's step back for a second. You can explain all you want, and they're legitimate.
I probably shouldn't have used egregious, but I did.
No, egregious is fine. It's cause and effect, right? Cause and effect exists. You want to talk about the cause and the effect on Steph? Fine, that's fine. But at a certain point when you step back, and the reason I go all the way back to 15 is because I saw what happened. And in 16, I saw what happened. And then KD got there. Of course, they can't lose, right? Now I'm saying, here we go again. It's a more evenly matched series. And I still believe Steph's going to win. I think Steph's going to play great. I think the Warriors are going to win. But here we are, one game in, and there was great production on open looks in the first quarter. He was setting records. But when it got time in the game where you credit Jaylen Brown because that's the momentum, that's the fourth quarter, that's crunch time, Steph won very good.
Different looks for Jaylen Brown than they were for Steph in the second half. The first half was set, like Jay said, they made adjustments after the first quarter to stop doing whatever they were doing to allow those particular looks. When you get to the second half of the game and you get into the fourth quarter, whatever they did in the second quarter, they did it again in the fourth, where he did not get those same looks.
So, Key, just to add to that point, right? So they gave adjustments for Jason Tatum. Like, he was 1 of 7 against Andrew Wiggins, right, when he was the primary defender. If Jaylen Brown doesn't get going, it doesn't open up opportunities for Jason Tatum, right? So it's the same thing with Steph to a degree. So when Steph gets going and these adjustments are made, you need a guy like Clay or even another one, Jordan Poole, who plus minus had the worst out of anybody on the court for both teams.
Not a defender.
Right? Minus 19. Yeah. So you need other guys to give you some breathing room to open up some gaps for you to do other things.
Robin has to step up, no doubt. I'm saying eventually Batman's got to take over a final series, right? Eventually Batman's got to deliver you a finals. I think he'll do it this time, but I got to see it, and I'm seeing. Did he do it, yes or no? I see no so far in game one.
Check your phone.